coming up next on The Beat Goes On, we welcome Tanya Kwasza. Tanya is a matchmaker in the real estate world, selling or buying. Tanya effortlessly puts the two together with great success. You can find Tanya weaving her magic at Ray White in Newmarket. Tanya Kwasza, welcome to The Beat Goes On.
Nice to be here, Jared.
And are you a motivated person like our special guest, Robin?
I'm extremely motivated. I'm highly motivated. I'm
What
probably
motivates-
over-motivated.
What gets you out of bed in the morning?
Property.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the fascination with property? What is it about property?
Well, property is it's a base of our lives. We all need somewhere to live.
Yes, we do, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And it's my passion, and people love property.
Yeah.
And what I love doing is matching people to property.
Matching, that sounds like you're a matchmaker.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the matchmaking is that, how do you explain your matchmaking?
Well, matchmaking for me is assisting people to sell their property and to link them up with their dream home. So it's a very difficult thing, you know. So there's a time in our lives when we have to downsize. Maybe children have left home.
Baby boomers? Baby boomers? This is what we're doing at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a difficult thing. It's difficult because your children have left home, you're left knocking around in a big house. It's a time where we're all out travelling. It's a time we want to be freed up for cash and we don't want to be at home. Sometimes the garden's getting too big for us. Sometimes even just the cleaning's getting too much.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are actually starting to see the benefit of selling up and getting out of a big home, and often getting out of an expensive home in good zones, and taking that cash and downsizing. I like to be part of wealth creation. I think it's really important. I believe in investing. I believe in providing for your children's future, for your own future, for retirement. And I think that if I can assist people through my experience and assisting them to purchase well in real estate, then I'm really happy to be involved in that process for them.
It was fantastic. If we had any issues or concerns, we could tell her. We didn't have to present it. We would just say, look, this is what's happening for us. How do we deal with this? And it made it a very easy process and took a lot of stress out of it. She treated us like a person. She felt like a member of our family from time to time. Events
Very regular.
Yeah.
Tanya from the very start made us feel very comfortable about the whole experience. Every time she's very courteous, and she was always very, very, very forthcoming with a lot of information for us as well. And also she managed to find us a home, which is perfect.
Now, another worry, of course, Tanya, is that people think, look, if I sell my house, it's going to cost me a fortune to buy something else, you know, and maybe I'm better off here. What's your advice there?
Well, that's where you need to come to someone that's really skilled and they know the market. And so what I do when I meet people is that, aside from giving them a really accurate idea what the value of their property is, I also take in other properties so they know, because I think it's really good. Sometimes people want to actually pull out cash. So if you look at your properties worth X amount, and I can show you these properties which are going to work really well, and you've got a cash differential of 300, 500, whatever the difference is. So I can actually assist people finding or selecting a new property.
Now, one of the secrets is good presentation of the house, isn't it? Some people think that they just can sell a house as it looks. What's your advice on that?
Our presentation is absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And here's an example. If you go to a car yard and you've got two models and one's shiny and polished, people will pay more for that. So I'm really, really big on doing simple renovations, just a coat of paint, maybe some new carpet, cosmetics, absolutely cosmetics, and to pay the least amount to get the most back. And staging is really important. And many homes you don't need to, but I do partial staging. I keep furniture in my own home. I have a lot of staging equipment, and I can come around and fluff up the beds and put in all the equipment and declutter and do all those things. Because when you buy a home, you're not only buying a home, Jared, you're actually buying into a lifestyle. And it's really important to create that lifestyle and to create that mood when you walk into a home.
Now, who are you thinking of when you're doing this? Is it the woman makes the purchase, doesn't she? So you're actually setting the house up for another woman, isn't it?
Well, I think
is that true, or
it's case by case. In some families, yes, the woman. No, but it's usually joint. It actually usually, but I guess I say in a way that the woman's the driver behind it in many cases.
I've always felt that it is a woman's thing buying the house, isn't it? You know, the man says, "Oh, yeah, well, do you like that, honey? Yeah, we'll take it."
Well, you can always tell who's the chef in the kitchen by the person that goes in and opens up the drawers, and you'd be surprised it's not always the woman.
Now, a lot of people are thinking, I'm going to leave Auckland
Yeah.
I'm getting out of Auckland.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a good price for Auckland and go to Waihi or
Yeah.
go to... can you help them there as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because that's
And-
what a lot of baby boomers are doing,
Oh,
aren't they?
totally.
Yeah.
And of course you can work. We're a big network, Grey White.
Yeah.
So what I do, I've just done it now. I've got a property for sale in Diamond Harbour,
Yeah.
and I work with an elite agent down there. I select really good agents and send their requisites down, and they send me properties up. It's we're nationwide, Grey White, so it's not a problem.
Now, Tanya, how did you get into real estate? I know you said you love it, and
Yeah.
you think property all the time.
Yeah.
Were you, were you selling some houses of your own and you got the bug?
Well, I've never been out of property. I think I was probably born in it because my
Yeah.
dad was a property developer. He came across from the Ukraine,
Yeah.
and he started off in taxi driver, bus driver, but he got into property with Bob Jones, and he did incredibly well. And so his passion for property, it's flown over to me. I used to spend my weekends driving around looking at properties. So,
Yeah, so you
I've
got
always
the
been
bug.
in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got the
yeah,
bug from an early age, yeah.
And so his Ukrainian, that's very is Dad still with us or is he?
No.
He's not, okay.
He's not with us, yeah. But he's with me in spirit,
He's
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
And how did we spell Dad's name? Kwasza.
Kwasza.
Z-A. And where did he come to New Zealand?
He came in the 50s.
In the 50s?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were very few Russian families then.
Yeah. So why did he get out of the Ukraine? That's interesting.
Oh, well, it was a pretty fraught time there. He had to escape. It was not, and there was starvation, and it was a very miserable time. Yeah. He had to leave.
So, well, I know in the Ukraine in around about 1931, it was the worst. They had the worst famine in the world.
Yeah.
And 2 million people died, and I suppose it didn't get that much better until 1950 either. So your dad got out in the 50s.
Yeah,
did he?
no, it was terrible. Where we'd wake up with another child, another sibling dead in the bed. You don't want to put that
Is
on
it-
TV.
Yes. And did your dad tell you all those stories?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, really tough. So he came to New Zealand. It was the land of milk and honey. It was an opportunity for him, and he went for it. He really went for it. He loved New Zealand, and he's very passionate. He's always said that New Zealand could have 20 million people in it.
Yeah, of course it
and
could. Yeah.
he just did really, really well. I'd sit in the car with him. He'd have a real estate agent in the car. He'd drive along down the street and just go, buy it. I'll have that one. And
That's a sense of power, isn't it?
But I'll tell you how it worked for me is that when I came back overseas, I had a tiny son, a newborn son, and I wanted to give him the kind of life that my dad gave me. And I had a background in teaching and in psychology and medical editing, and I knew on an hourly rate I wasn't going to get there. So I had a small sum of money, I had $60,000, and I put that into my first property. And it was really difficult with the banks, but I pushed and pushed and pushed. I went to a mortgage broker, and I got my first property, and I didn't live in it. And I bought in a time when no one else was buying. I think that's actually a really good time to buy, right?
That's common sense, isn't it? Yeah, good on you.
And I did really well, and by the time, in 6 years, I'd got 6 properties, so I was buying 1 property a year and using the equity,
Wow.
And my advice is to people is not to be as gung-ho as I was. You know, you've got to be structured, but to go ahead in property, not to be afraid of it, but to do it with advisors around you. It's really important.
What a great background to be in Ray White Newmarket and be a property matchmaker. Property matchmaker.
Yeah.
I mean, you know the full story, don't you?
Yeah, I do indeed. Yeah,
So
there's nothing, Jared, that gives me more pleasure than when I see people who don't expect to have either sold their property for the money that they get or to have purchased a property for how well they purchase it.
Yeah.
And I love going to their home afterwards and celebrating, and it's just wonderful.
Now, today, Tanya, you're not just talking about people that have already got property. You know, it's just a swap. You know, they can go from something to something else. But what about getting on the property ladder? And you discussed it before about how you managed to get that first property of yours. How can you help people there?
I definitely can. I think there's a lot of... at the moment, there's a lot of talk about it's impossible to get on. I totally disagree.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's going against what the newspapers are saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really, really possible, and I did it, and it's
Yeah.
very simple. All you need to do is rent where you want to live.
Yep.
Because a lot of people say, I don't want a 2-bedroom, you know, I want a minimum 3, I want to be in this school zone. That's fine. Go and rent there. Get a home big enough so that you can have a student there or run an Airbnb to bring in the extra income, and use that income, get an investment property, and buy in an area where someone can assist where they know there's going to be growth.
Oh, that's good thinking.
Yeah.
Go and live in the area of your dreams
Yes,
anyway,
yeah.
but be building an investment somewhere else, and one day you'll be able to buy that
That's
property.
right. And you let that portfolio quietly
Yeah.
tick along.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then I sold that portfolio and bought into my dream home.
Yeah.
And it works really well.
Good advice.
And I think also people should be using families, and Kiwi families I think are very independent. I love how Indian families work together, and they actually give cash and get their children on the property ladder. Chinese are fabulous about getting properties.
And us silly Europeans, we're all individuals, and we don't help each other.
No. And I think it's really important if parents do use their equity, assist their children.
United you stand, divided you fall, don't you?
Yeah.
Wow. So you've seen the Indian families and the Chinese families.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've done very well.
Very well,
Because they've
they
joined
work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we get hold of Tanya?
So the best way to get hold of me is...
Ray White, of course.
Yes, but my mobile's easy to remember. It's 021...
021. I'm memorising this. 59...
3939.
What a great number.
Isn't it a good number? I've had it for a while.
59.
021 59 39 39.
Okay, and so basically, whether you're wanting to sell your house and you're thinking, gosh, I need help on this, you're the right person
Absolutely,
to give a call.
Yeah. And even if you're not in Auckland, I can direct you to a really good agent.
So what's the first thing you do when you get that call? You go and see them and say hi and...
No, the first thing I do is get the information on the property. I'm very mathematical. I sit down and I choose very similar properties. We get all the information on the size of the land, the size of the house.
So you never walk in unprepared? You just,
no, I have a pack full of information. And I think it's really important. I don't like to pull out figures and just do guesstimates. I work on facts on what other similar properties have sold by. And I'm very accurate. You'll see I have a list of properties that I've sold and what I appraised them for and what I sold for, and it's very close.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tanya, you're wonderful.
Thank you very much.
We're going to see you again on the Beat Goes On.
You will. The beat will go
on. I
on.
need to buy a house.
Right. Excellent. Yeah.